Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Merricks Garage. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who's watching, whether you are a first-time viewer, a long-time subscriber, a lurker, or a hater. You're here and that's what's important, and I thank you. I endeavor to put these videos out every Friday, and so far I've been managing to pull it off. So do me a favor and click that subscribe button, click that like button, or be one person every video who gives me the dislike. That's cool too. Hit me up in the comment section. YouTube is basically changing their algorithms on how they measure channels, and it's important as a creator to be staying ahead of that curve. And right now, the flavor of the month seems to be engagement and watch time. They want to see how much you guys are getting out of this video, whether you're bouncing in and out, or if you're coming here and staying here. So hopefully, I'm enticing you guys in and you're watching through the whole video. If not, no big deal, but it all helps keep driving the content up so I can get more and more views, so I have more and more clout to bring more and more cool stuff to you guys. So with that said, if you guys saw my video last week, the cat's out of the bag. I am doing the 4-link setup on my truck. Bilstein coilovers and bumps, Ibach springs. It's gonna be freaking awesome. But as I'm still collecting parts for that, there's a couple of weeks lead time before I really start getting into the meat and potatoes of that project. So I have a couple weeks that I'm gonna fill up with some videos that are being requested from me repeatedly. One video is the cooling system. Whether it's your transmission or your water, radiator, or power steering, cooling is integral to keeping your truck running well. Energy is converted to heat, and we lose a lot of energy in the conversion of heat, so if we can keep that truck running cool, we can increase the performance and longevity of the truck. You can have the best built truck in the world, and if it overheats and doesn't get you anywhere, then it's no good at all. So I will be doing a radiator swap. Griffin has sent me one of their new robust off-road radiators. They wouldn't tell me exactly what's inside it, apart than saying it's got some internal bracing that is adding to the rigidity of the radiator, because putting a radiator in the front of your truck when you're flexing the frame in and out is hell on a radiator. So Griffin have stepped up and recognized that they need to be building some robust kick-ass radiators for our trucks, and that is exactly what they've done. I'm going to throw it in. You guys have seen some of my videos where I've had some cooling issues in the past, so I kind of feel that I've got this part on lock, but I want to pass on my pearls and tips and tricks to you guys. I'm also going to be doing a video on these Yukon locking hubs. These things are like jewelry for your truck, but they're functional, hardcore jewelry. The locking hub is as important to your four-wheel drive system as your drive shaft. Without your locking hub, you're not going anywhere. People spend big bucks on axle shafts and drive lines and things like that without recognizing that if they can't lock the axle shaft to the hub and correspondingly the wheel, they're not going anywhere anyway. I went with Yukon because they are known in the industry for having some super gnarly, low profile, aggressive locking and incredibly strong hubs. So I'll be giving you guys a detail as to what's in the box, how they install, what makes them better than others. So stay tuned for that. That's coming at you soon. Today, I'm going to be getting into where do you find the parts for this build? Where do you find all the stuff that you're going to need? How do you afford to do it? How do you make sure that you're not buying stuff that you're not going to use and you're going to waste money? Well, we're going to get into all that because 3, 4, 5 years spent on my build, I've learned a lot of tips and tricks. I've learned what can be bought cheap, what you've got to save your money for, what you can sell, all those things. So we're going to get into that today. Hopefully it's going to impart some wisdom that you guys will be able to use to finish your builds so we can all get out there and get after it. Let's go do it. Merrick's Garage. If you watched my video on tips and tricks to completing a build that I put up a couple of weeks ago, one of the things I spoke about was patience and recognizing that you're not in a huge hurry to finish this truck. Take your time. What I liked to do when I was building my truck was focus on one particular area. Yeah, I had an idea of all the parts that I needed. So if something that was too good to pass up came along, I was able to jump on it. But generally, I addressed one thing at a time and would devote my energy and resources into finding that part. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can find used. People switching from hydraulic assist to full hydro often just get rid of their hydraulic assist for dirt. I picked up my whole system from reservoir to cylinder on Pirate 4x4 in the used section. It works just fine. And with a company like PSC, if there was anything wrong with it, I was just going to send it back to them anyway and have them rebuild it. At a cost, but still cheaper than what I'd have paid for it new. Junkyards, Craigslist, forums, classifieds, swap meets, Facebook groups. There is a lot of stuff that you will need to buy new, but there's also a lot of stuff that's available out there just for the pickings. I kind of considered it part of the fun to go and search for that part, and when I found a good deal on something, it kind of made it even a little bit more special. So I know what some of you are saying, I don't have any good junkyards in my area. That might be true. I am lucky to live in Southern California where we do have a plethora of great junkyards. Square bodies are becoming harder to find. I never thought I would see the day when you used to be able to pretty much find a part on the side of the road, but square bodies are becoming fewer and farther between. There's still a ton of them out there, and the interchangeability from a lot of parts makes it pretty simple to find what you're looking for at your local junkyard. And before I forget, here is a gratuitous plug for my Amazon store. There are little parts like taillights and stuff like that you're better off just buying new because you can get them for so cheap. I scoured the net, and the stuff that I found for cheapest in Amazon, I went ahead and put in my Amazon store. So there's a lot of little knick-knack and little stuff that you need for your build that can be found in my Amazon store. And don't forget about all the stuff that you already have. Stuff that you don't need, but stuff that you have that somebody else might need. Sell it. I sold my half-ton axles that came in the truck. I sold the old bumpers. I sold the old wheels and tires. I sold so much stuff. There was oftentimes I'd buy something, it would come with something I didn't really need, but I knew I could sell it. And once again, patience was a virtue with this. If I could wait and put it up on the classifieds, on Craigslist, on the forums, someone would eventually buy it. I wasn't going to make a killing off it. In fact, I often sold this stuff for pretty cheap, which is just contributing to the fact that this is all a big community. But I had something that someone else needed, they had the money that I needed, and everything was cool. So I hope this helps. There's tons of places to be finding these products. There's tons of places where you don't need to be paying a fortune for stuff that can be found used. So using these tips and tricks, and patience and good planning, I was able to slowly chip away at my build and get it to the point where it is today, just in time for it to start changing again. Thanks for watching. Merricks Garage.